power, insane God, insane favor. Hey guys, welcome back to Get Real with Pam. It's been a minute, I know. I've been MIA, however we are back. I haven't been standing on business with how I manage my time lately. I've been so consistent shooting other content. However, the sit down, the Get Real, we've been slacking lately. Okay, we're gonna fix it. As per title, today we are going to talk about how to gain your life, your dream life. Okay, so I came across Joseph's story. We all know Joseph's story, right? So I'm just going to read chapter 39. In chapter 39, this is when he was sold to Potiphar, who was the captain of the guards. So he was in charge of the security in the palace for Pharaoh. This was a very busy person who was hardly at home. He bought Joseph from the market, took him home to his house. While Joseph was working, he started seeing favor and success in his household. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, that the Lord made everything he did successful, he took notice and had to bring him inside the house now. Later on it says, Joseph found favor in his master's sight and became his personal attendant. Potiphar also put him in charge of his household, placed all that he owned under his authority. Talk about God's favor. Talk about God's favor. I'm not sure if you guys watched my recent video. I was talking about, being God's favorites. And I was talking about how Joseph went to his uncle's house. And while there, he fell in love with Rachel and wanted to marry Rachel. He had to work 7 years for Rachel. He started working and his uncle noticed growth in his flock, in his crops. As a farmer, he saw that things were multiplying because of Jacob. God favored him. His uncle refused to let him go because he knew if he were to leave, all this flow would stop. If God has favored you, it goes to your line, to your children, your children's children. So we found that Joseph's dad, who is Jacob, was favored by God, and it was visible that everything he touched multiplied. And we are witnessing this here in chapter 39. His child, his heir, his firstborn, because he didn't recognize Leah or Leah's children. They were not favored because they were not in God's plan. Whatever God was pouring onto Jacob's life flowed into Joseph and Benjamin. When you read about Jacob's story, it is so clear that he did not want 2 wives. He wanted Rachel and only her. That was God's plan as well, for them to get married and, have a family, a blessed, favored family. So whoever wasn't part of the plan did not enjoy the benefits. After some time, his master's wife, Potiphar's wife, looked at Joseph and was like, he got a kid. She started crushing on Joseph. She became bold about it. She said to him, sleep with me. I'm lonely. I'm sexually deprived. I need you to sleep with me. Our God-fearing man Joseph refused. He replied, with me here, my master does not concern himself with anything in his house. He has put all he owned under my authority. No one in this house is greater than I am. He has withheld nothing, child, from me except you. You are off limit. You are off limit. You are a no-go zone because you are his wife. How could I do such a great evil and sin against God? This is not about the master. It's not about being loyal to Potiphar. It is about being faithful and reflecting God's character. The wife did not stop. Even after he had said all of this, showing her it's not going to happen. We're not going to go there because I have high moral standards. I respect and love my God dearly. Period. She started grabbing him, wanting to rape him. And he ran away, left his coat. And when Potiphar got back from work, his wife said, "The Hebrew slave you brought to us came to make a fool of me. But when I screamed for help, he left his garment with me and ran outside." Now Potiphar was furious. So they decided to put Joseph into prison. He was now in prison for a crime he did not commit. He was labeled a rapist while he was fighting for his life from his wife trying to rape him. The irony in this is crazy. I'm sure Joseph was wondering, why am I added on the list of God's strongest soldiers again? Because I was sold by my brothers. Now why am I being added on the list? Now I'm being imprisoned for a crime I did not commit. Why am I on this list? It does not make sense. No one wants to suffer. You find that even in prison, Joseph is favored. In verse 22, it says, "The warden put all prisoners who were in prison under Joseph's authority, and he was responsible for everything that was done there in prison, in all the cells." My man Joseph was in charge. Even in jail, the warden did not bother with anything under Joseph's authority because the Lord was with him and the Lord made everything that he did successful. Talk about God's favor. Just because you are going through challenges and obstacles doesn't mean that you are not favored. You going through all these situations does not take away the favor over your life. You are still favored. However, all these are challenges that you might be experiencing. It is to grow you or mold you to be a better individual, to have more self-control. John 13:7. "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Later you would understand. 2 of Pharaoh's servants are arrested, and while they are in prison, they end up falling asleep and dreaming, and they were really stressed about the dreams they had. Joseph was able to interpret those dreams for them. They promised, to spread the word, share this miracle with other people so that people can know about his gift. They did not end up doing what they promised him. So now God ended up dropping an insane dream, and Pharaoh was troubled, really stressed about this dream. Now this servant remembered, "Oh my God, I was in prison and I came across this dude called Joseph who interpreted my dream to the T." They had to summon Joseph from his prison cell to come and save them because all these magicians were in danger of being executed by Pharaoh. Joseph came and interpreted the dream. Verse 39, "So Pharaoh said to Joseph, 'Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one as intelligent and wise as you are. You will be over my house, and all my people will obey your commands. Only with regard to the throne will I be greater than you.'" Actually, they are the same when it comes to authority. The only difference is Pharaoh has a throne. Apart from the throne, we have the same person. We share same authority, same power. Pharaoh also said to Joseph, "I am placing you all over the land of Egypt." I am placing you all over the land of Egypt. Sana, one thing about God, it will make sense. What's in the John 13:7? "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." I'm sure Joseph was in that cell thinking, "What did I do though? Like, I stood on business. I did not sin. I did not do anything wrong, but I'm the one who's in prison. It's not fair." And Jesus was like, "You do not realize what I'm doing now, but later you will understand." And I'm sure while Pharaoh was saying all of this, it was making sense because, I had to be sold by my brothers. I had to be imprisoned for a crime I did not commit. Because if all of this did not happen, I wasn't going to be in charge of the whole Egypt. A foreigner in charge of a whole country. It's like a foreigner being in charge of South Africa. It's like, what? You're not even South African, but you're in charge. In charge of the whole country. Insane, insane. Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, clothed him with fine linen garments, and placed a gold chain around his neck. One thing about God, the word says that he does above and beyond what we can think or imagine. This is exactly that. This is it. This is an example. How are you a foreigner in charge of a whole country? You are in the same position in terms of authority and power as Pharaoh. A whole king removed his ring, a signature to sign over anything. Insane power, insane God, insane favor. And it's so crazy that we have the same favor. You just have to see it. And I see it. I feel like now I am in prison for a crime I did not commit. But soon, I am about to be summoned. It's about to get real. It's about to get real for real. Like, I'm expecting it. I feel like it's gonna happen because we are no longer subjected to futility. So I'm waiting and expecting this kind of favor. I do not understand what God is doing, but soon, it will all make sense. Okay, it will all make sense. Now it's making sense to Joseph. I had to lose my title as an heir, be sold by my brothers, be in prison for a crime I did not commit to gain it. He's in a place where he is saving not just his life, but his whole household. God's timing is always perfect. He's never too late, he's always on time, because he knew that this famine was coming. It was going to hit his house. But he has to be the one losing his life to gain it for his family. His whole family is sitting at the same table as Pharaoh, while everyone is dying due to drought, due to famine. There's no food, there's nothing. People are literally dying, and his whole family eating the best food during the famine. God is so good, guys. God is good. Jesus is another example of someone who lost his life for us to gain it. He had to be crucified for sins he did not commit, so that we can gain life and have it in abundance. I hope this video reaches, the right people. People who I need to hear something positive. People who I need to hear from God why they are suffering, why they are living under these conditions. To be empowered, to be affirmed, to have hope, so that they can be encouraged and be hopeful. But yeah, God is good, guys. God is good all the time. Be encouraged and remember that Jesus said, you do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you understand. Let's just wait for the later he was talking about. It's about to get bright up in here. It's about to be good and rosy, okay? I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on my next Get Real with Pam. Bye.